horse drifted alarmingly in the betting was, Felsted in the morning continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Buttons.
The ground is soft. It's not.
It's heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Hello and welcome. It's that time of week again, and what a week this is. There's plenty to talk about. We've got lots of things to discuss. Constitution Hill. Remember, this show is brought to you by Cook on Sunday. Give the #1 food podcast a follow on YouTube, like and subscribe, because this show would not be brought to you without Cook on Sunday.
Cock on Sunday, more like, not cook.
Joining me as always to chew the fat this week on various topics. We've got big industry topics as well as racing. Are Mr. Jonas Lang and Chris, are you both in great spirits for this?
Well, not say great spirits, but we're in some sort of spirits, aren't we, John, really?
2 pods a week now at my age. I don't know whether I'm coking the boats or coking the fucking veg.
Yeah, it's true.
There we go. And by the way, this latest Cook on Sunday pod features breakfast, which I was astonished. And Chris, you were astonished.
Yes.
We just thought this is going to last 10 minutes because a breakfast is basically a fucking breakfast. That's it.
Yes, it is.
But not with these two.
Greedy bastards they are. That's just cementing my gluttons they are. Absolute gluttons.
They have got some absolutely top tips.
Yes.
Please give it a listen. Even if it's only for half a show. It's worth it. I promise you. Tomato recipe from John is probably one of the most out-of-the-box, inspiring things to make a tomato interesting, Chris.
Have you tried it yet?
Not yet,
No.
but I did find it.
See, he's typical. He listens to it and he doesn't try any of them. He
Yeah,
hasn't
I
left
can't
that
cook.
fucking chair yet. He hasn't left that chair. Get out of the chair.
Producer today has produced this chicken today that's absolutely beautiful. I don't know what she's done with it, but
He's like Brian Potter in that wheelchair. She brings him the food. If she doesn't bring him the food, he'll not eat. I'm telling you.
look, you got me all wrong.
I know. Always. I always get you wrong. But no, we're going to try it, though. We must try it. We must try it.
Right, let's start now. It's a racing podcast.
Yes, of course. We're going to move to slots, though. There's more money in the slots.
There is.
On the,
Yeah, we should,
Yeah, fucking fruit machine of the week, the lot.
Bigger overrounds on the slots. So,
Yeah.
no stale prices.
No. Three cherries and a fucking nudge. That's what we're about.
Do you remember the old fruit machines? Big barblet.
Yeah, fucking good. The flashing lights. They get you hooked easy, that is. Good game, that.
How they've evolved.
I've never liked them, mate. Never even when I was a kid.
No.
John, did you ever play a £100 band in club?
No,
like that?
never had the slightest appeal to me whatsoever. But then again, I got a bit freaked out when we got a tease made.
I've got a goblin tease made. She only works Mondays and Thursdays, though. Boom.
Yeah.
Hey.
We'll get on with the show now, I think.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
Racing, John.
Mm.
This weekend was quite a big weekend for the sport.
Dramatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with proceedings on Saturday, and where we had the big card at Newbury, and of course the big talking point, which of course was the fighting fifth hurdle. We'll start with the fighting fifth. People are going to want to listen to the opinion on Constitution Hill, even though it's the most boring horse in training because it's the most talked about horse in training. It gets more talked about than any horse I have ever known in training.
Yeah.
Is that the fault of the media? I don't know. Why does it get talked about so? This is a horse now, John. We had information for this in midweek, and this is no after timing because if you're a member of Bar Stewards Edge or Early Bird, you will know that we got told this horse unseated Nico in a schooling session. For me, for the level of context that I have, this would be true. I had no reason not to believe it. So it's not an after timing that the horse, yet again, dived at a hurdle. Apparently he was very guessy in schooling as well. With that in mind, John, if that info was correct, and all we can do is say that's what we believe it was correct, other people have heard it as well, should they have run that horse? If you owned a horse and it had schooled badly in the week run-up prior to the race, would you then run it?
No, but I think they put a bit of pressure on themselves because in the run-up to it, according to them, everything had gone smoothly.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
But what I'm saying is, if you're going to say that, you're leading yourself up a blind alley, aren't you? You're not giving yourself any wiggle room. If you're going to talk to the press, you've got to make your mind up. If you're going to just toe the party line and say everything's wonderful, blah, 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 you're going to have to run. If you're going to talk to the press and tell them exactly what's happening, and give them daily updates and say, fucking hell, he tipped up this morning, then you're giving yourself a bit of wiggle room, but you're also putting yourself in the firing line if you run them and they get killed. It's an awful situation, I know. I think Henderson would be a million times better off if he stopped being an ambassador for Unibet and kept his trap shut.
Our very own beloved Catherine Fry, she obviously is a national fanatic and she loves the horse and she is beside herself. She believes, and she's always said this, if they carry on with this project, she says it's going to end in disaster. I see her point now because this horse is very guessy. You can tell that. When he gets it right, he does look electric. When he gets it wrong, he gets it horrifically wrong. And the problem with that is, jumping at pace, at 2 mile hurdle pace, at top level, well, we don't say it, but we know what could potentially happen. Are you in agreement with that, John? Do you shelve any jumping test for that horse now, or do you carry on? What would you do?
He has what I call them proper neck crunching falls, doesn't he, where they really crumple and head goes under the body and everything's geared towards a broken neck, in all honesty. And I don't think it's worth the risk. When a horse is jumping like that, I mean, let's put it like this. If this was a novice, the last 4 runs were its first 4 runs, you'd be saying, well, fuck this, he's not a jumper, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. At any point, why have they not entertained any kind of flat campaign? He's clearly got an engine.
I think up until 12 months ago, I think they thought they've got one of the ones and they wanted to keep him from jumping. But the last 12 months have been nothing short of a horror show. And now the hand's been forced, possibly for the fact that he's got guessy. Personally, I think it's a vision problem. I think his depth perception is probably at fault. But either way, they've had the hand forced and it's going to be a flat campaign, isn't it, if we see him again?
Some questions from listeners on this as well. Bert Doncaster, he said, is a flat campaign realistic for Constitution Hill now?
Yeah.
VW Horses and Cricket's been on. In all seriousness, what has gone wrong with Constitution Hill? Is it the hurdles? These new hurdles, John? Is it the eyesight? The thing is, how do you know if a horse's eyesight has deteriorated?
Your normal way to test the vision wouldn't tell you if he had a problem with his depth perception. Because all they tend to do with horses is check if they can see someone.
Yeah.
They don't actually
It's
check.
quite common. It's quite common depth perception, isn't it?
That's the thing, yeah.
My wife thinks I've got a 14-inch cock, despite it being considerably less than that. And you see, and thank God for that. Thank God for it.
Dreadfully mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, got a baby's arm holding a fucking apple.
Total delusion.
Yeah. How would you know anyway? How would you know? You wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't fucking know. How would you know? I might be packing loads of pipe.
That's a fair point.
You wouldn't fucking know. I could be bluffing, couldn't I?
I'm taking the law of average.
No,
the average
no
cock
thing.
size in the UK is something like a Richmond sausage.
I'm part Mexican now, so you've got to add another 3 inches on them. Anyway, carry on. We're going to take it be a 5 hour. It should be a Joe Rogan job at this rate. I'll carry on. You carry on. Yeah.
We'll have cigars out in a bit, won't we, if it's Joe Rogan?
Yes, yeah.
So going back to Constitution Hill, these new hurdles, are you a bit put off by the look of these things? Because I don't really like the look of them.
It's only because of you.
Is that because we moan at anything new? Any change?
Yeah.
Yorkshire folk, change is not good.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't given them a second thought. And Horse hasn't actually failed to come up at any single hurdle where he's fallen, has he? He's always come up.
Yeah.
So he's seeing them. But for me, his depth perception's making him guess about where he's taking off. And then he's basically shitting himself and putting down.
What I'm trying to ask you then, if we owned it, he's okay.
I'd have sold him after novice win, obviously, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, we would. We'd have been in Papua New Guinea, right? The thing is, if you're doing a flat campaign now, you have to just shell the old jumps season off. I mean, is that what you'd be looking at, like sort of staying races on the flat?
Not necessarily staying races. I think I'd be quite hopeful of getting him handicapped and starting him off at a mile and a half, something like that.
Not even handicapped. You just turn up in your novices, don't you, and see where you're at. I don't think Buckley, as an example, is interested in fucking landing a plot
No, I mean,
you know?
no, I mean when I said getting him handicapped, I didn't actually mean shuffling him round over 6 furlongs straight out.
Like the Baron, the bullfight.
We're not talking JP here, are we?
No.
Run him in these maidens, get a rating, and then see where you go. I don't think we're looking at a Coronation Cup horse or anything like that, you know. But I think we could be looking at a decent handicapper. I don't know why not. Say Pigeon won a nice show on the flat, didn't he?
Chris, do you send it to Willie Mullin?
Well, I don't know. It is tricky. It would be a fascinating thing to do, wouldn't it? You know, it would make you wonder. It would sort of, what's the word? Prove the hypothesis that Mullins is a better trainer than practically anyone alive.
But
So
Buckley, though, goes that far back with Henderson. The only thing he's sending
He
Willie
does.
Mullins is a letter bomb, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like Unabomber staff. Yeah, I mean they are joined at the hip, so I don't think there's any prospect of the horse moving yards at all. I mean that's nonsense. But I agree with you. I think I'd give it a spin on the flat. Why not? I wouldn't persevere over hurdles. I mean the horse falls over, and the next time it's going to snap its neck, isn't it? You know what will happen. So I'd either retire it or run it on the flat.
It's a
Why not?
terrible look for racing in terms of because he's such high profile. If anything happened to him,
Yeah.
it's going to make the mainstream, might even be on Jeremy Vine, things like that.
I think Roger
Shouldn't
Cook would
race
come
might
out of
be, yeah.
retirement, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so. It wouldn't be good. I mean, although there's precedent for ruining champions. I mean, remember Little Owl? Remember that? That was running around fucking Plumpton at like 13 years old. So the sport doesn't have a brilliant track record in looking after its champs. But I think there's still a race or two left in Constitution. And I mean, travel's good, just doesn't jump. So why put it through all that misery and try the flat? You never know. Might be a new career for him.
Beecher's Brook sort of adds to this Constitution.
I wouldn't be jumping over that. No, I think.
No.
Sending it around the national fence.
Now it's probably one of the few things he could fucking jump.
Fucking right, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. He claims that by leading racing journalists regarding that he did
journalists
that he fell in schooling, brushed under the carpet subsequently in interviews. Like I say, I cannot categorically say that this is 100% true. All I'll know is I did advise a bet on our subscription service on the back of the information that came through this week.
I mean, I don't believe we weren't exactly told he's fallen, were we? We just been told it had just been shit.
It was Gessie and unseated Nika was the exact info I got. He didn't fall, it unseated Nika. That was the info I got. Whether that is, again, you can slag me off, you can sit here, you can post on Twitter and say I'm talking shit. I might be. But the point was that was the info. It's a good contact.
Is it Nicky Henderson? Tell us.
No.
Oh. Is it Nico de Boinville?
He probably wouldn't know.
But he was riding it, so he might do.
No, I'm about Nicky, not Nika. It's one of them that people say, oh, this is bullshit, this is crap. Look at the shit I got for Desert Crown.
Yes.
Remember that?
Lest ye forget. I do. You don't know what you're on about, apparently.
I even had Richard Kingscote do a big smiley face. And he's fucking rode it on the gallops.
Yeah.
And I've said, it's done. It's finished.
Kaput.
And who was right? Where are they now? Where is Mick Fitz? Where is Kingscote?
Yes.
Where are you? As Delia Smith said.
Yes, she did.
Let's be having you. There you go. That's it. Info is info though, and obviously things are wrong. But that's constitutional for me, done as a jump source. And if they carry on persevering, I think Fry will absolutely combust, John. Honestly, she is absolutely livid behind the scenes that they are continuing.
I'm looking forward to the undercard when her and Popeye take it to the cobbles at the festival, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather the mud wrestling with Kate.
Yeah,
Tracy
me too. What are you on about? Punch up. Yeah, exactly. The old fucking an old fucking Mazola cooking oil or whatever. Yeah, not mud. Because you can't see out when they're covered in mud, can you? At least the oil is see-through, isn't it? See what I mean?
We don't know Kate Tracy's stance on Constitution Hill. We don't know whether she'd fight Fry over it, do we?
We don't know. No, we'll have to find out.
And Saturday continued as a great day for Brian Drew. He's having a purple patch at the moment. He's obviously got that really good chaser in Ireland that'll just win everything going forwards. I even forget the name of it off the top of my head. He had Panic Attack that won the big Coral Cup, if you like, 3 mile 2 furlong race at Newbury. It's a purple patch for him. He had Brave Man's Game with the Pumpkin. he's got, what's that name of that horse in Ireland?
First summit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one that's just going to win everything. I even said it last week, I think.
Get Champion Hurdle betting up it'll be on that one.
I Chaser, but anyway, that one. Yes, he's got that, and obviously he's landed the Coral Cup. Anything to say on?
Ruby Walsh dismissed this as a non-stay.
He did.
In quite clear terms, we saw the race. Bloody hell, they chased it on.
As a pundit or a tipster, and by the way, Ruby Walsh does listen to this. As a tipster, we get it wrong plenty of times the same. So
I'm not surprised they allowed to me. I was just pointing out that somebody like a lot more famous and a lot more of a following was absolutely adamant that she wouldn't stay. I was in the same camp, to be honest. I didn't think the trip was hard.
Absolutely, It was a terrific performance, and I was like you. I think watching her about 3 or 4 out, and you're thinking this is where tanks will start to empty because you're travelling that well, and you're thinking maybe as an in-running player you might just lay a short price, and you did. You've absolutely got burned. So I didn't see it doing it. So yeah, it's terrific for the owner. To be honest, I like to see this owner do quite well because this isn't like one of these knobhead big owners just wants to win everything and wants all the adulation. I was quite pleased.
He spends a lot of money, doesn't he? He spent a lot of money over the years.
He ain't been as lucky like John despises. Well, despise is a wrong word.
No, it's not.
Well, it might.
Detests, yeah.
Alex Ferguson, Harry Redknapp,
cunt.
he always
Fucking
thinks
cunt, yeah.
they're the luckiest people on the planet. It's nice for somebody like Brian Drew, I think, to come along and keep having a top horse because he does invest, and that's how I viewed it as well. Coming on to today, John, Ireland had a very, very big meeting. Before we come on to Ireland, and I'm sorry to you Irish listeners if you do listen to this review, the Japan Cup brought me back to my childhood days.
Oh, good.
In Japan?
Yeah, big in Japan. Honestly, this performance today, I really felt the love. I had no financial interest in Calendagan in the Japan Cup. I found the lack of betting opportunities. You couldn't play on the exchange. I think you could play with bookmaker accounts, or you could play.
Davis was big on it, wasn't he?
Davis was very big. Our Jack was big on it. But the thing was, for me, I was very upset that I couldn't play at any point because I did want to back it.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I sat and watched this morning.
Yeah.
I felt alive. I really did.
Oh, fucking hell.
I know you think I'm dead and moulded.
No, I don't at all. I was just
do.
genuinely exclaiming. I thought you'd be hunched over Pornhub watching Wolves.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean 2, the dead man's chest, where they're all
Yes, I do.
welded to the fucking ship, like seashells.
Yes, barnacles and so forth.
Yeah. You think that's me? Well,
no, I don't. I don't think that of you at all.
I know you do. No,
I don't.
This morning I was bouncing. I got excited for probably one of the first times this season.
It was a good race, wasn't it? It was a good race.
But we've moaned at this flat season, at how flat it's been.
Nice to see it finally coming alive, isn't it?
Yeah, December.
Yeah.
Taking off. Looking forward to all those maidens now.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and honestly, I was like bouncing. It reminded me as a youth when I used to see big races. You got Steve Cawthon, Pat Edry, Lester Piggott, Willie Carson disputing the big races and big owners. And just reminded me of that. And the reason it did was because, A, they took the challenge on. They went to Japan. They could have easily have just went, we'll wait till Shima Classic and come back next year and go the old boring route like most owners and trainers do. That was a tough challenge. Not many people go to Japan and be big in Japan, Chris.
No, indeed. No, quite.
This, to me, I like that. No financial interest. So can you watch a horse race and get excited?
Yes.
I genuinely
did.
I
can't. No, I can't. Not at all. Fucking preposterous.
Pile of shit.
I think you're overtired, mate. Hallucinating. Fucking now. Well, no, good for you. Good for you. Bit of zest for life. Nothing wrong with that.
That's how I felt this morning. That brought a lot of passion back into me. John, Calendagan, are we saying he ran into the great city of Troy at York?
I'll tell you what I'm saying, mate. I'm saying Calendagan is doing more for the reputation of City of Troy than City of Troy did.
Coolmore should be all over this. If I were Coolmore, I'd be retweeting the shit out of this and saying,
Yeah, they're loving it, aren't they?
we spanked the arse off.
Magna should be spanking the ass off something over this, there's no question.
Exactly. They've got a stallion there, right? It's like, hang on, you thumped that horse by, 2.5, 3 lengths in the Juddmonte. You should be, yeah, absolutely.
What's he standing at the minute, City of Troy?
Not sure, John.
60 grand.
60 grand.
That could be cheap.
Might be indeed. There you go. City of Troy. If you've got a mare that you give the schlong 60 grand, what happens if that ends up to Frankel at 200 or 250 grand?
He's not in the Super Saiyan bracket by a long chalk there, is he? And
No.
let's be fair, the way Aidan talked about it, given the runner-up subsequent heroics, he could take off.
Exactly. You can't put a price on that. He has thumped, and if they hadn't gone Breeders' Cup and played it safe, a safer entry to finish his career off. Again, a lot of trainers start at 1 to 3 and beat absolute shit. But no, they went for the Breeders' Cup and spun the wheel. We didn't think that was a wise move, but at least they had a pop, and fair play to them. You've just thumped probably the world's best racehorse over middle distances. No other horse has done that. Magnier should be telling his social media team, we absolutely earned that.
Well, they should certainly take down that video of him doing the cinnamon challenge.
Who was it that did that? That journalist?
Mike Perry.
Mike Parry.
Fucking hell.
A lot of people will have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, give that a watch, because that is absolutely hilarious.
I'll give the cinnamon challenge a go. Film yourself and send it in. We'll have a look.
Absolutely. Coming on to Ireland then today, John. It was a big day for them. They got the Drinmore, the Hatton's Grace. It's a big day in the Irish calendar. I'm sorry for sounding a bit obvious here, my review, but I'm blown away by this Romeo Coolio.
Yeah.
BFG's had 4 winners today at Fairyhouse. This is good for the BFG because we're seeing the Willie Mullins dominance, but the BFG, 4 winners today, bang, 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 brilliant. I want to see that. I don't want to see boring Willie winning 5 or 6 races on the bounce. And this Romeo Coolio, to me, is electric over his fences, John.
I honestly like this horse from Sailing Run second in the bumper at the festival. I didn't particularly think we saw the best of him over hurdles, but I think, by God, we are now. I would agree with you. I think he's a really electrifying novice prospect, and personally, I think he's got King George next year written through him like Blackpool Rock.
In your notes from earlier this year, he's going to be a high-ranking chaser. Like 100%. And some will say, well, that's an easy prediction. It's not always that easy to predict. You called it. You said he was a future chaser in the making in terms of quality. It's going to take a good one to beat him because quick over his fences, he's definitely going to stay.
I don't think you'll see the best of him until he gets 3 miles myself.
There's nothing not to like. Quick over your fences and stays.
Yeah.
That means you're going to be hard to beat.
Well, you're going to get a mile at it, aren't you?
Yeah. He was the one that, like, I'm sorry if to our listeners saying that it might be an obvious thing to say, but I think this horse is very, very high class and will be a very, very high class chaser for the BFG. John, anything else from Ireland today that caught your eye? I love your Irish angle as well. You tend to focus a bit on Ireland these days.
Not especially today, no. I think everything was more or less as you would have expected it to go, really.
Yeah.
Maybe Grange Clare was a bit disappointing in the flat race at the end, but other than that, I think everything sort of ran as you'd have expected.
Monge too, as a juvenile hurdler.
And the much underrated vegetable, I would suggest.
Chris, what do you think to Monge too?
I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. No, not for me, really.
Not Monge too.
Mangy Tout, I think, is the correct pronunciation, I think.
Again, no culture in Europe.
No, it's only bacteria. Sort of culture, isn't it? Yeah.
Epping Forest, what we're dealing with.
Yes, quite right.
Us Northerners have more culture than Epping
Yes,
Forest.
you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going with Romeo Coolio. That's the one. Go with the Brian Drew one. Let's move on, because there's lots of talking points to go through on this show. If you're not a Grange Hill fan, maybe turn off later in the show. If you're a Grange Hill fan,
Bankers on. Take the money.
yeah, it's going.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a Bloodstock company ringing John up.
Yeah. Been ramping City and Troy, that's why, hasn't he?
Just he's been talking Magni.
Yeah, he's on the phone. Come and work for me, John. Fuck these cunts off, yeah.
Let's talk some topics before taking some
Yes.
questions. Obviously, this week, John's put a question in Budget Special as Rachel from Accounts fucked racing. I think you guys know my stance. I'm happy to elaborate, but I'd like you two's view, really, on everything. I'll come to John secondly, but Chris, I want to come to you first on the budget, the result, what we campaigned for.
Yeah.
Is this good for racing? Is it bad?
Here's the thing. Nobody knows, but on the face of it, it's the least worst option. And I think that's, when you started this work, right, nobody ever claimed that there was a kind of a universal panacea to all of racing's ills. But it offers racing the best chance of long-term survival, I think. Now, whether it's another Brexit in that sense that, we've got what we wanted and sort of 10 years down the line, oh no, we should have voted differently. I don't know, but I think it's given racing a best chance of survival. Now, how the bookmakers will respond to that is anyone's guess, because they have the power to sabotage it all, don't they, really? The power still remains with them, but it's given them a slap round the chops. So I think it's the least worst option, because I think if we'd carried on in the same direction of travel, I think you'd have to give the sport probably 3 years tops. I think you've bought a lot more time now.
To put it simpler, the bookmakers complain that racing tax, it was a mistake to do it and this, that and the other. But my point is they always moan that the product's too expensive.
They're going to moan whatever. Whatever. They're going to moan for whatever. Yeah.
If it went up 10%, like with sports betting, or went up to whatever slots were, how would racing even possibly survive? Yeah. It would be the finish of racing, would it not?
It would do, and that's the point, I think. But nobody, and I think you've had some very, very unfair brickbats. You've never claimed that this is a magic bullet at all. You've never said that implement this and you can carry me aloft as your saviour. What you've said is racing's in a terrible situation through complete reliance on bookmaker money, useless leaders like Harrington and her predecessor. And so racing has kind of painted itself into a corner. And this solution offers racing the best chance of survival. Not the only chance, but the best chance. And I think you've delivered on that. And I think it's up to people in racing in positions of authority to fucking step up now. To step up from behind their desks and go and deliver on it.
I'm going to pay credit on this show to James Noyes and Matt Zarb-Cousin. The reason being because, and they have took a lot of abuse the same as we have.
Yeah.
Had they not put their heads above the parapet and campaigned for this, I don't believe racing would have had any chance whatsoever, because taxes were always going to go up. It was not an option to have no tax rise.
The BHA were very slow to get across this, weren't they?
Yeah.
Pitiful.
Fair play to the BHA as well, because they at least did step up when asked. And to me, I'm not going to berate the BHA on this. John, have you got a take on this? Fair play if you want to come from the other side, because we like to be a balanced podcast. We don't want echo chambers.
I'm no industry expert by any stretch. Well, I'll just try and do a swift overview of where they're at, if you like. Remote gaming duty has gone 40% from 21%. Betting shops at 15%, going to 25% for all except horse racing.
Yep.
And betting shop terminals unchanged. Now, the 40% on casino might be the first of many deductions, such as 30% to affiliates, for example, who have brought traffic to your site. To me, and that's a bit of, well, it's your choice, if you have these affiliates that click here to go to wherever, and all the rest of it. But then there's costs on affordability checks, banking transactions, all of which the bookmakers will tell you leaves a single-digit profit. And you would assume an unattractive product to bet on, but they still seem to prefer it to horse racing. So, of course, given that the books have warned about this scenario, stating casinos will pay the costs for betting on racing. Obviously, racing is a costly item to bet on, which they've done purely as a philanthropic gesture, which bookmakers are well known worldwide. I think it's important to point out that the net win with all the above deduction is then subject to corporation tax. I'd say a sort of consensus in the industry is they're expecting the loss of 500 to 600 betting shops next year. And there's also affiliates such as the Racing Post, who is probably in trouble now because they benefit enormously from bookmaker advertising, which is predicted to be one of the first areas that gets cut. Indications are they'll be punished for not being full square behind the bookmakers campaign, which is interesting. But a personal view now, I was pretty pleased to see Rachel from accounts had left racing alone in the budget, despite the attacks on other forms of gambling. The bookmaker response I felt was typical and expected, like all good cartels singing from the same hymn sheet, stating that racing's lack of compliance when they wanted to campaign for no tax rises across the board, which was never going to happen simply because this tax was geared towards taking children out of poverty. Opposition to it was never ever going to fly with the public. Stern warnings about withdrawing funding, cutting back on involvement followed, almost word for word from the same bookmaker as the last one. But for me, racing now found itself in a decent position to fundamentally change the funding model, produce a blueprint to maintain and eventually grow the sport in the public conscience. I don't doubt things will look bad at first. I think this is going to be a wobbly couple of years, possibly.
Yes.
Because the more Big Corp reduces their fiscal input, racing will have to ride that out for the long-term good.
Yeah.
I don't think prize money is under immediate threat. It could be if they don't address the funding model issue quickly. Racecourses, I think, will end up with a few prime sites for building, which I don't care. I think the game needs to rationalise. It needs a massive, massive cut to the fixture list. Racing has to be a treat again, not a chore. Adding eventually reforming the levy and ensure there are guarantees for punters to be laid to win a certain amount, even if it's only £100 to start with. This won't be nice and amicable. There'll be lots of fallouts, probably a big one with ARC, and others who want millions of worthless fixtures. The BHA has to be ready to fight and be ready to keep funding back. They must address the media imbalance. Big Corp hardly have a dissenting voice in the media because they all have been paid up as ambassadors once the dust settles, I would like to see all ambassadors given an ultimatum. Stay as ambassadors, they're warned off. There's no place in this sport now for paid shills who help wash the shit off casinos and slot
I agree. It's sort of, we're in Vichy France days, aren't we?
They've got to go now.
Yes, I agree with that. I think if you're not with us, you're against us, and I think they've got to be given that message. All of them, every single one has to have that message. You're either with us or against us.
I think now more than ever we're in a battle now. It's literally punters and racing against Big Corp, and we have to be very solid and very hardball in the approach we take towards operators. And the reason I say this is because they've had the status quo for a long time now. And as we've seen by their profits, their share prices, everything else, they're the ones that are thriving. And now they're upset that they're not going to be able to thrive.
Party's over. That's it. You know, whether for how long, who knows? Might only be a temporary sort of interregnum, as it were. But ultimately, you got to press home your advantage now. Racing should be get on the front foot now.
Yeah.
For me, they've shown the true colours, though. We've always been told that racing is going forward with Big Corp bookmakers in this wonderful partnership based on gross profits tax, and everybody's happy because, you know, racing, the only sport on the entire planet that relies on its followers losing money.
Yeah, it's insane.
In such a happy place. And the minute racing steps out of line with Big Corp bookmakers, they want to slap it down.
Yes, they do.
And tell it, no, you can't do that. We call the shit.
Yeah, and all these knobs now. Sorry, Lee, go on.
Chris, are you surprised by the response from bookmakers on the tax results? That surely, racing's got a reprieve, so you'd think there'd be one bookmaker coming out.
They don't give a fuck.
It doesn't come until 2027.
Yeah.
But you've got Bet Goodwin coming out with tweets. Right, we're pulling all racing sponsorship.
Doesn't that tell you who they are?
What is that all about?
But doesn't that people eventually tell you who they are? You just got to give them enough time. That's who they are. And I suspect there are many, many, many other sponsors who claim to be, full square behind racing, etc., will be doing the same. Because listen, they're money-making enterprises. They exist purely to rinse money from punters, and that's fine, as long as you're upfront about it. But don't come this old shit, we're here to support racing, although I don't think anyone ever believed that. And that's not specifically aimed at them, that's just a general comment.
The trouble is, casinos have spoilt them.
Yes.
It's a no lose percentage on turnover. It's as simple as that. They will not lose.
If you were in the business, you had no interest in horse racing per se, and you wanted to target the gambling market, why the fuck would you bother? You'd be wanting to drag everyone to casinos because you say it's guaranteed money and it's highly addictive and it attacks the demographic you want, which is people play at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're depressed or high or pissed.
The clue is in the name, bookmaker. If you want to be a bookmaker, don't think yourself as a casino operator.
You're not making a book because it's an algorithm. It's a piece of machinery that doesn't exist outside of a computer screen. Bookmaking is about producing odds, prices, probabilities on real live events that take place in the real world. A casino is just a computer game. That's it.
Which is why we always campaign for separation. I wasn't necessarily about just pure tax. I just wanted to be separated from.
Yeah, but we weren't campaigning for them to put the tax up on anything else, were we? We just wanted racing left alone.
Absolutely not. That wasn't my thing.
But racing is now being treated by big corp as though it was actively campaigning undermine casinos, which it never ever was.
No, we just wanted to be left alone. It was down to the government whether they were going to implement tax rises, which we know, as we've seen from this particular government, that you're going to get hit by tax rises, whatever it is.
If Big Corp didn't see some form of taxation coming,
I know.
Telling a blind man to go find his own cock, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is as well, when people say about, and I've seen certain pundits and judges on Twitter say, the Barsters were all about affordability checks and now they're into a tax debate. I'll say one thing to these people that may be listening to this podcast. Do you think it's easier for me to argue that affordability checks should be stopped on horse racing as we are segregated from online slots? Or would it be the same chance as if we were tagged in with slots in terms of taxation? That's my argument. We are in a far stronger place now to argue against affordability checks in racing because we can deem the product as less harmful than slot machine, etc., etc. Had we not argued for segregation, imagine how harder to an MP that would be to basically place that argument in front of the MP and say, well, why should racing be exempt from affordability checks? Well, it's lower taxation for one because it's deemed as a less harmful product. That's where we're at. And it's vision. Things are done in stages. You do not campaign on policy and think you can get everything done in one hit. It takes time, energy and vision. And we've had so much flack. And I've got to say, has it been worth it? I don't know. The amount of stress I've had this year, the same as Matt, James, Noise, everyone else, the abuse has been off the charts. Absolutely off the charts. But this is where we're at. Chris, John, can I ask you on that? Do you agree with that? By separating the products, we have a better chance?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, no question. Casino is like the grubby little cousin that you should never take anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all know you can't win. That's the point. And I've said this to the BHA. You can't sell a sport where you're not allowed to win.
No.
You can't sell it. It doesn't work. It's like the 18 to 25 nights. They've got to think they could come racing and, hang on, can I make money at this game?
Yeah.
Even the second income? Well, no, because you won't be allowed to.
No.
And that's the modern day bookmaking, which isn't bookmaking.
Well, bookmakers talk about racing being a shit product, but let's not forget their input in making it a shit product.
Yeah, great discussion. There's more to go on that. I think we've got a pod planned with Thomas Saville, Chief Exec at Plumpton Racecourse, and hopefully Vaughan Lewis coming up to discuss this in more detail if you're interested as a separate pod. Ice cold question. Danny Mullin, brilliant drafting in home straight Thursday. Thurles' first race made me think, in cycling, those sheltered from the wind in a peloton use approximately 80% less energy. What is your view on how this compares RE runners on the front end and in behind in racing? Absolutely. Wind form is a big part of my play. It doesn't always happen that way, but We've seen things, haven't we, over time? Newcastle, for example, when the wind's blowing in the faces, everything's held up. It's last one to challenge. It's stands rail stuff. John, what's your views on wind form?
Basically the same as yours, where you make cover.
It's a great edge. All people's got to do is use your Google Maps. You've got like a strong southwesterly. In Newcastle's case, a northwesterly. That's a direct headwind. But anything westerly, which is most of UK's winds, it's a headwind. You know for a fact, trying to make the running into this is a lot more difficult than if it wasn't there. It doesn't mean to say that a front runner won't win into a headwind, slowly on the front end and get away with it. But still, it is an edge, Ice Cold Cube. And I think it's something that every punter should look at when betting. If you want a hold-up runner, get every edge that you can get, that it's going to be a strong headwind, there's a good pace on. Use it to your advantage. Chris, have you ever looked at headwinds?
No. But again, you see, I just want someone to tell me what the headwind is. I don't want to look things up, for God's sake. Just tell me a winner. Tell me something.
Winner information.
Tell me what jockeys bet what. We'll all go head down. Yeah.
Look at how information worked out this week when I said about constitutional schooling.
Spot on.
And then we backed the same.
Yeah. That's operator error. Information was spot on.
It is.
He no jump boss. He very guessy. Send money.
Champion hurdler showing 30 on machine.
There you go.
We're all sat with our thumbs up our
Yeah,
asses.
man.
Probably should have just laid the old faff on the exchange. Whatever pennies you can get on there these days.
I got the pipe out and done some crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. That's right.
Darren Pearce has been on. He said, "Do you believe Racing Blogger makes a profit?" As he on a podcast this week. I think it's pretty fanciful, but then
how can you not make a profit when you bet with somebody else?
Exactly.
But then again, I'm just trying to be objective here. How would any of us know?
No, you wouldn't know.
You know,
No, nobody knows. I mean, you can guess.
We
but
don't
you
know.
Don't know. You've no idea.
I bet £1 to a bag of shit that he doesn't keep records.
No, absolutely not. So if you don't keep records, for me, I don't think you win money if you don't keep records, because you have to look at your performance, because your bottom line is actually key to what you perceive or what you do.
He's a salaried fool, isn't he? He's a cartoon.
Yeah, and he's playing a character.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've said that. And listen, his move to Australia is inspired, actually, because the Australian public are less sort of, what's the word, cherry about gambling, drinking, and having a good time. The Australian kind of, they
love
do,
him.
because he's a perfect fit for their culture. Our culture, you know, we've all got our own views. Over the last sort of 20, 30 years has turned against that lifestyle. And the Aussies are less sniffy about it. So I think it's an inspired move. I think he'll do very well over there. I really do.
And like we've said on this podcast, I'm not going to diss.
No.
Blogger's not my cup of tea.
No.
But listen.
Nor mine.
If he does well, fair play. Well done. Go and do what you do. His content, some of it I do like, is quite well done, you know.
And you have to give him credit. And it's a life lesson for anybody that's feeling down or not doing so good, is to keep pushing. He has never, ever lost faith in himself. Now, whether he's relentless, and I mean that in a good way. I don't mean, you know, you can have I don't like him at all. He's not my cup of tea. I think he sort of embodies that style of presenting that I hate. But listen, he keeps going. And, you know, he could have folded at any point in the last sort of 2 or 3 years easily, and no one would have, you know, criticised him for it, but he kept going. And he's developed that thick skin. He gets as many brickbats as he does plaudits. And, you know, fair play. He believes in what he's doing, and he's found people that are willing to pay for it. And that really is the heart of life, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yep. Can't disagree with any of that. Like I said, I think it's wrong to always be down on people that are doing well out of life, that are putting everything in. And I don't necessarily think, when we talk about ambassadors, it's a different thing. Ambassadors, for me, are the real scourge of the industry, not Racing Blogger, because Blogger's done it off his own back.
Yeah.
Blogger, he's never had a TV job. He's gone from viral from his own
He's self-made.
content.
Ambassador, you're right. I mean, ambassador sort of, you know, I think of Joachim von Ribbentrop.
Well, it's just an excuse to give somebody prominent in racing money.
You're famous already. Have some more money.
It legitimises corruption.
You've got enough. You've got plenty of money doing what you love. So here's some more money to promote our product in the course of doing your normal job all
I
right.
mean, there's no way a jockey or a trainer should ever,
No.
ever appear as an ambassador for a boatmaker.
It's a terrible look. And if you can't see that, you need to give your head a wobble. It's an awful look. And Henderson must, whatever he gets paid for, I don't know. But the point is, he must surely, he's not a stupid man, regret it. Because he's forced now to.
Well, Unibet must think they're just pissing it up against the wall when they say things like,
Well,
Saturday.
maybe. But, you know, he must be thinking, I've painted myself into a corner now. I've got to give these regular media updates I actually don't want to do. You can tell he doesn't want it. He's not a natural. He'd rather be left alone. But obviously, the power of the pound note wins again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mark's been on. This is a slight change of subject. It's to do with ground racing.
Yeah.
Chris, obviously me and you were heavily involved in the dogs back in the days.
Yeah, we like to dog stare, you know, fucking.
He's complaining because he's saying about the opening and closing shows on the dogs are really bad at the moment. Is this already a sign of Big Corp just closing ranks on pricing?
Yeah.
What are we going to see on pricing going forwards? It don't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't. And the sad thing is, there'll still be plenty of punters will be happy to bet 5 to 4 each of 6 dogs. You know, if you priced up an A7 somewhere on the shows, 5 to 4 every runner, you still get money for them, wouldn't you? That's how That's how uneducated or ill-educated lots of punters are.
I do laugh at bookmakers' arguments on this. Right? They'll say racing now we're going to price to like 150%. Fuck racing, this and the other. But then there's still going to be value because they're that shit at pricing. There'll just be less bets, I agree. But are you telling me that even at 150%, Bar Stewards, Edge and Early Bird ain't going to make money?
There's still be opportunities, you know, there will be.
Yeah, they're just not good enough.
No.
Just nowhere. They're awful. As we've said, if they spent on odds compilers rather than Meg Nichols to write a blog on BetMGM.
Oh, come on. Yeah, come on.
Just employ people to do proper jobs. That are going to be beneficial to your company. I don't know. Am I missing something?
Clearly, their current model hitherto must clearly have worked. You know, stick some price up overnight, lay people to buttons to get your card marked, and then you know they make the market for you for a few £100. That's the model.
Punters will bet anyway.
Yeah.
And if I was employed by one of them and saved them 10% overnight over a year, how is that not more beneficial than Megan Nichols writing a blog about riding a horse at ditch?
Well, I suppose Megan Nichols, the theory is because of her profile in the media and because of her, you know, her family connections, is going to be more effective at attracting new people to the game. Because remember, we said that it's kind of a Ponzi scheme, isn't it? It's basically the model flourishes if you can find a limitless supply of mug punters. But like all Ponzi schemes, eventually you run out of mug punters, don't you? But for now, if you can contract lots of new idiots to the game who follow her or whatever, then fine. It works. It's good value.
Disappointed. But anyway, Gabriel's been on and he said, I'm one of your 2% of listeners under 45 years old. I'm 26 and want to know what the Sunday Sermon gang were doing at 26. I love this. We've got a young listener here. This is one of our few younger listeners. John, what were you doing at 26? I bet you were a right bastard.
I was probably spending 48 hours at home a month.
Yeah.
Really?
If that.
Really? Chris, what were you like? Were you a clubber?
Seal clubbing. It's the only clubbing I used to go. No, I think, no, not really, no. I've always been a straight arrow, me. Never done anything wrong in my life, honestly. Wouldn't nick a toffee apple, me.
Yeah, and listen, if you believe that.
Right go with me. What you see is what you get. Although you can't see me, so you get fuck all.
Yeah, didn't show up on film.
Yeah.
The 90s for me were absolutely top class. It's the freest, most beautiful period I have ever lived. It felt like a dream. I was clerking at Bellevue Dog Track. I was running a bookie. I used to do a nightclub Friday and Saturday night, both nights, till like 4 or 5 a.m. Sleep all day Sunday, wake up, get nudged by your mum, and have a Sunday roast, being warmed up or whatever, because I've just slept in. They were the best days I have ever lived.
Happier times. Yeah, I agree with that.
No phones, no internet, no social media, just pure joy.
Nothing like a Sunday dinner with an oven crust
No.
on, is there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That your mum makes and bed we love.
Yeah.
Seriously, the joy back then, it was genuine. You met people and you went out, and if you didn't live then, I really
Where
feel
you
sorry
from? What you on? That's what I used to say in the clubs, didn't they?
Wait.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, you'd be impressed at my work rate. I could party till 5
Yep.
a.m., open a betting shop at 9, 10 a.m., then work till 5 p.m., get picked up, and then clock at Bellevue,
Yeah.
and then get dropped off back in Sheffield and go to nightclub again.
Magic.
Beat that.
Yeah.
Coffee was
Yeah.
great back then.
Coffee's the only thing that's remained great, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabrielle, I hope that's answered your point.
Yeah. Kinda.
Right, we're coming towards the end of the show. Katie and Dove's been on price sensitivity. We know punters will go a few miles extra for a fractionally bigger price. Does this also apply to your Xmas shopping?
I'd drive to Edinburgh to save 40 pence in the DFS sale.
They've always got a sale.
Chris, do you know anyone when you get a petrol
Yeah.
price? And I don't know, it's like,
Fuck me, yeah.
God, yeah.
if you know people,
Oh, I've got a fella that I work with. He's got the app. He goes, oh,
Just to say.
there's fucking like 1p off a litre at so and so. And like, oh yeah, I've got.
Yeah.
And they love it. It's the Martin Lewis mentality, isn't it? Drive 1,000 miles
Yeah.
to save £1. Yeah,
yeah.
Hitler does it, mate.
Does he?
Hitler does it.
I can believe he does. He is that type, isn't he?
He can tell you where the cheap petrol is everywhere. And he said to me before, he said, oh, you want to go? I said, look, just don't fucking tell me. I said, nearest petrol station. I said, I'm pulling up and getting some petrol.
Nah, if you go 30 miles down the road, you're safe if you run out of petrol between now and then. You know, that's the mentality. Yeah. No is the answer.
There's always someone. But anyway, John, you didn't reply to me today either. You're a
Yeah.
twat. Pogo Patterson.
Yeah.
That's stucco, isn't it?
Oh, a bit harsh, but yeah, it could be. Yeah, it was very ginger, but not as chunky.
Clip this and send it him. An absolute bastard, weren't he? Pogo Patterson. I know they were Gripper Stepson. We've got Roland.
Roland.
I'm trying to help you,
Fuck
Roland.
off. Yeah.
Who else we got?
What about Tucker Jenkins' mate with the hands registered as lethal weapons? Fat Alan, the
Fat Alan,
Fat
yeah.
Alan. Yeah. And then you got Zammo that couldn't say
He's on
no.
the spoon. But I can trump all that. Forget Booger Benson. He was a little known character, but he was the original Gripper Stebson, a putative gripper, and he was hateful. Look him up online and that face, you'd never forget it. Horrible. Booger Benson is the best Grange Hill character, a real thug. He's the one that terrorised Tucker in one of the early series.
Do you know why they got that series right? Because that PE teacher, or that Baxter, I think
Bullet
they called it.
Baxter, yeah. The old beard
Bullet
and the
Baxter.
whistle, yeah.
Every school had one of them, didn't
Yeah.
Everyone did it.
Yeah, they all had 80-inch beard guts as well, despite being PE teachers. Yeah.
I always found that weird.
Totally.
When I was growing up, they made you all get showered, right? But they're all walking round making sure you get changed to get in
Fucking
shower.
hell.
Like, that's fucking
It is,
strange.
isn't it? It is, isn't it? Fuck me.
There's no way.
Well,
that
you'd
goes
hope
on
not,
today.
wouldn't you?
It's $1 million. Get that just done at. That happened now. And they did that. Every PT walked round and they always wore these tight spandex tracky bottoms as well.
Yeah.
And you sort of bulge.
We used to have a geezer, right? He had like a proper magnum moustache. And I remember when he was in, right, and he was always telling the pupils that how he'd want to bum Annabelle Croft, you know, the tennis player. Always, even as a child, I thought, he shouldn't be telling us. He said, I'd be right up to the cannon wheels with her. Fucking get on the end of that. And I'm thinking, blimey, Lordy. I wonder what Ofsted would have to say about that. But Annabelle Croft. So whenever I see her, I imagine him right up behind her, whenever I see her on the telly.
Yeah, it's real bad. Going back to Gabriel's question about what were you doing at 26, in his younger days, it was very sinister.
But we weren't at school when we were 26, just for the avoidance of doubt.
Yeah.
John didn't leave till he was 32. You had to look, it's about time you left, son. Go make your way in the world. Yeah.
Jason Ayres to finish the show, chaps. The bar stewards are in a desperate situation.
Yeah, fucking right.
Always. Fucking always. Yeah, well, that's not fucking new, is it? Come on.
Old news.
And the bad guys are closing in. Your only option is to call one of these two legends of kids' TV shows for help. It's not Rolf Harris.
Stuart Hall.
Godzuki from Godzilla or Croc from Emu's Pink Windmill.
Oh, right.
Fucking hell, this is Rod Hull
Rod
territory.
Hull. Well, yeah.
John, you'd fuck grab bags, wouldn't
No.
I bet you would. Oh, fucking, I bet you'd be fucking flush to the maker's name up that. Fucking hell. Ooh.
So John says no to...
And that's somebody that gave Sandy Toxvig some consideration when she was on the programme.
Oh, really?
Do you remember, like, Emu's
Certainly
Pink
do.
Windmill?
Somebody at the door. Still say that now.
You remember that, surely, John?
No,
well, maybe a couple of years.
No,
It was good
no.
that there's somebody at the door. Remember that?
Too old.
Didn't Rod Hull, like, fall off a roof and kill himself?
Yeah, he was fixing the telly aerial and...
Which gives in the rain, which gives rise to the unkind phrase, she was as wet as Rod Hull's roof. There you go.
he broke his arm and he nailed his neck in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Godzuki, though, do you remember that? From
It's rubbish. It's fucking nonsense.
Godzuki.
Yeah, it's like a bollock.
I prefer Captain
I was thinking that, John, the old Teen Angels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you were just thinking of Teen Angels.
Fucking right.
Speaking of which, it was Thanksgiving in the US this week for any US listeners. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were on the other night. Oh,
were they
Jesus.
lovely? Yeah, that's what you were saying. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fuck me, yeah. And then afterwards you turn over and say, fucking shit.
Honestly, it's a sight to
It
behold.
is magnificent.
Yeah, it's a magnificent sight. The Dallas Cowboys do it very well. And of course, they actually managed to win on the.
Oh, there was a football game as well, was you just didn't just tune in for that?
Yeah, well, it was Thanksgiving.
Football, yeah. They are magnificent. And well, of course, we're only talking about their dancing skills and their choreography, just for the avoidance of doubt.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie for breakfast, isn't
Is
it?
Is that what they have for breakfast over there?
Yeah, that type of thing, yeah. Nice.
Hope you've enjoyed it this week. We've certainly covered a lot. And get back to us on any views you may have or disagree with us on Twitter. It's always nice to interact, as long as you don't abuse the fuck out of us. Join us again next week for more absolute rubbish. And don't forget to follow Cook on Sunday. And also, look out for the podcast with Tom Saville and Vaughan Lewis on the budget debate, if that's your thing and you'd like to listen on the future for British racing. That's all from us. Bye for now.